Today, once again, we delve into the world of gender ideology, and I wish I wasn't recording this video, but this is the only thing that's ever in my sodding Twitter feed. And I'll start on a very serious point. I do not hate troons people, and I say troons because that gets me around YouTube's algorithm. It can't find that very similar word. And if you're an adult, you do you. Provided you're not making other people feel uncomfortable or being an active danger to others, because there are some people with gender dysphoria, a really horrible mental illness. I'm sure there are some troons people who are just trying to live their lives, but there seems to be a hell of a lot of men dressed as women who want access to female-only spaces where they can watch women and girls get undressed whilst getting their dicks out. But hey, it's not a fetish and they're not perverts. But rather than just banging on about troons women, later we'll be having a look at a particular type of troons men. But before that, let's have a look at a TRA, a troons rights activist, and often these are even more unhinged than the shouty troons people. Because she believes she's found a way to silence those who are critical in any way of gender ideology.
I think we're onto something. I think this is how we do it. I think this is how we beat them. I think this is how we beat them. So you know when they get on their tirades at there's only two gender, you know, like they get so worked up. This is how we beat them when they say, you think there's more than two? And I'm just gonna be like, you think there's more than one? Everybody knows there's only one gender. What are your pronouns? Everybody's pronouns are we, us, and they. You're just gonna beat them.
Clearly, that woman is off her fucking meds. In fact, if anyone knows her, please pass this message on. Love, the pills the doctor gave you, you need to start taking them again. You are bordering on psychosis. But throughout that entire clip, she doesn't actually make a single valid point. For those of us who choose to live in reality, there are only two sexes. Ergo, there are only two genders. All the other labels are just made up to make people feel better about themselves. But why does that lady think all of us who live in the real world have that accent? Oh, yeah, I can't do it. I'm too British. Why does she think we're all backward yeehaw rednecks waving the Confederate flag and firing revolvers into the air? So her method of confronting people who believe in two genders is to say that there's only one. Now, first of all, there's no way that the TQ cult could go half a fucking hour without making up another gender and a flag to go with it. And secondly, once again, we see this mindset is like that of a toddler. That's the sort of joke a 3-year-old would invent. In fact, I'm going back on my training many years, but young children can't understand a different perspective. Right in front of me here, there's a tree. If you asked a young child to stand in front of the tree and see what they could see, and then ask them what a person on the other side would see, a very young child can't understand that. Rather tellingly, young children or those who are clinically retarded cannot understand another person's point of view. Let's leave her to go back to her padded cell and look very briefly at a certain type of troons men. So women who identify as being male. These are troons bears.
This is just a reminder that trans men are not all skinny, wafy, little boyish looking dudes. Have y'all ever fucking seen a trans bear? Magical! Oh my god, magical!
For those who don't know, bears are gay men who are larger and often have beards. I have to say though, I've never met one. Almost every gay guy I've met has been absolutely shredded, ripped down the gym all the time. Most gay guys put most of us straight men to absolute bloody shame. And their houses are always immaculate. But I guess first of all, they very rarely have children. Secondly, if one of them leaves the toilet seat up, it doesn't lead to Armageddon. And thirdly, well, if you've got two men living together, imagine the amount of DIY they can get done. They get home from work, they're both plastering and painting. Of course their house will be immaculate. For any Americans watching, DIY is what we in Britain That's what you call home improvement. DIY stands for do it yourself. Possibly the most British phrase ever. It should be DIFY. Do it your fucking self. Anyway, the Troons Bears, I cut that clip very short because after that there's loads of these women taking their tops off to reveal the scars from their top surgery. And here's the weird thing, most of them are heterosexual. They are women who are hoping to attract a male partner. Now, in the modern world, if I was dating, the number one thing I wouldn't want from a woman is for her to have a cock. The second one would probably be that she wasn't morbidly obese and with a beard bigger than mine. I'll also say that morbid obesity just doesn't do it for me. If I was single, I wouldn't be looking at a woman, feeling turned on knowing that by the time she's 45, she'll be in a wheelchair. So, these Troons Bears, they're not trying to attract straight men. They're trying to pull gay men. Now, I'm not an expert on homosexuality, but as far as I'm aware, gay men are really into dicks. And I know members of the Troons community often don't understand very, very basic biology. But someone born female will not have a penis. Although, looking at the size of those Troons Bears, even if they did, you wouldn't be able to find it. Yet they think they're attractive. That's how deep the delusion goes. Because I've never thought what I'd like in a woman is someone who's morbidly obese, has a severe mental health issue, who's cut her tits off and has taken so much testosterone that her hair's fell out and she's grown a beard like a rhododendron bush. And I can't speak for gay men, but I doubt any of them would find that attractive. No one finds that attractive. Yet they kid themselves that they're gorgeous. I mean, if you're born female and you're into men, maybe try to remain at least female presenting. And if anyone watching this thinks they're in the wrong body, I urge you, get help. Changing at least the way you appear to look like you're the opposite gender, it won't cure the underlying problem. That's why sadly Troons people off themselves at a rate of 42%. That is tragic. And if anyone watching this does find those Troons Bears attractive, and I say that because I know within my very small viewership, it is very varied. There are people of different races, religions and sexualities. But if anyone finds those attractive, please let me know in the comments and then check yourself into a psychiatric hospital. And whilst I'm talking about Troons men, of course the most famous Troons man is Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page. So this was Ellen, and she was a lesbian, and there was nothing wrong with that. Also, she was fucking gorgeous. She was in Inception and Super, two of my favourite films. But rather than get help, psychological help, she got the surgery and became Elliot Page, a 5'1" actor that no one wants to employ. And if we look at Elliot now, he looks like, from that expression, he's been told he's losing the house in the divorce on the same day the doctors phoned him to tell him he's got AIDS. That's the end of this video. Thank God. As ever, thanks for watching.